We've spent the last year on a quest to uncover the secretive yet to be revealed lore of Hytale, and as we've slowly tried to piece together the history, join the dots together so to speak, we've received lots of help from Discord members, theory crafters in the comments, and even fan artists and content creators alike, all attempting to guess at what the central story may be. In eager anticipation of upcoming big reveals, I wanted to tackle yet another mystery that has had the community rather stumped: the seemingly abandoned state of old human settlements and structures throughout the world of Orbis. Welcome back to Kweebec Corner. My name is Connor, and today on the Hytale Theory Talk, we investigate the game's darkest secret, the case of the missing humans. All but gone are any meaningful structures, cities, or castles. The humans we have seen remaining are all but player characters, and we know that a dark and powerful war raged on long ago that may be the cause. Make sure to consider subscribing if you enjoy the video. A lot of people who watch don't end up doing so, and it really does help. Thank you. So what do we know so far? Well, Hytale has faction-based systems that allow you to earn reputation or standing with particular races of the world. This would be done by doing tasks for the Kweebecs or helping fight the Scarix for the Ferens. But humans are by far the most common race. We've seen almost every player character so far showcased in the human body type when not morphing between random mobs. If there is a standing for every faction, does that mean that humans have a faction? If so, where would it be located? Where is it based? Every race we've seen so far has an actual home, whether it's Scarix mounds, Kweebec trees, Trork huts, or Outlander villages. But regular human villages? Well, they're far and few between. We've seen simple farmsteads in footage and images, but these all look very player built, as if showcasing what's possible in the early stages of the game. The only time we have seen a large area of generated human structures, well, they seem overgrown, ruined, broken down with random holes and vines drooping down. There are structures like this all over, and some sunken ships too. It seems rather odd then that we play as humans, yet there's no other humans around. Where did they all go? And more importantly, if there's no humans around anymore, where did we, the player character, originate from? Throughout all zones of Orbis, there is evidence of human presence. From the pastures of Zone 1, we see old castles, broken towers, and fallen farmyards. In Zone 2, we see evidence of human fortification, trade outposts, and more military settlements. Clearly their aesthetic nurtured and molded to the harsh conditions of the Howling Sands. In Zone 3 we see humans, but of a different, more corrupt kind. The Outlanders are a breakaway faction that have clearly survived the dark days and weathered the storms of battle and war. No coincidence surely then that they dance to the whimsy of Varen himself. Zone 4 shows even less signs of life, not just for humans, but for all nature in general. There are still many grand structures, but skeleton wastes roam these lands, and only scars, ghost forests, and echoes of the past remain. The Outlanders are interesting. They're a source of humans that will spawn in small encampments throughout Zone 3's forests. They're very mysterious, choosing always to cover their face, and with pale skin and void magic at hand, are definitely up to no good. Their hierarchy is cult-like and their ways somewhat old-fashioned, which leads me to believe that their twisted minds are not what they once were. They are not human anymore. Living, breathing, pure humans clearly aren't as active a presence as they once were. We stumble across undead skeletons of all kinds. Some are warriors, some are mages. There are different tiers and ranks. They herald from different zones. The remains of the human race lay bare right in front of us, reanimated by some form of magic. Could that have been Gaia's attempt to bring back her beloved humans, the creatures she had created in her very likeness? They themselves clearly worshipped her long ago, those statues giant in size now buried in the ground. Perhaps a curse caused the human race to return as walking bones. Perhaps this was the work of Varen himself, or even a dark plague. These skeletons are certainly quite old, that's one thing we can be sure about. The Hytale team have gone to a lot of effort to make their equipment appear much more decrepit than that of newly crafted items. Rust and cracks will appear on their blades, suggesting they're from a time long forgotten. Many skulls can also be found scattered across the world, and goblins even inhabit human ruins, as if they all but vanished in an instant. Zooming back out a bit real quick, so far all the humans we've seen are player characters. When we've seen multiple humans, they appear to be multiple customized, player-controlled characters. We can tell this by their more modern attire and how it doesn't really fit in so much with the Hytale adventure style. I couldn't imagine running into someone like this during story mode at least. We know of Kairos and Tessa. Tessa we know at least for sure is another human, but we've seen absolutely no sign of her thus far. Could she be a secret ace in the hole, ready to save the day? How would she even appear to us? Does she have her own special prefab that her NPC would appear at? Or will it be more likely that we see her and Kairos' history through magical portals within the Temple of Gaia, the history mirrors? Clearly, Hytale has a big emphasis on what happened in the past. While you may be playing in a very current modern world, as you experience the game, you will find yourself embroiled in a mystery, a legacy seemingly spanning back centuries. Through what we find in prefabs and our encounters with factions, we will surely uncover what happened to the humans, the truth as to why they are so scarce. The question still remains, of course, where did we come from? Could there be a human capital out there, some big city or keep we're yet to see? Maybe we spawn there, how do we know we don't? Well, the team have mentioned themselves that they've tried their hardest not to make any overcomplicated prefabs to the likeness of an entire city or anything like that. They don't want to make the player feel like the world is already built around them. The player should want to create their own kingdom. And it's in these values that we may begin to derive the true purpose of our character on Orbis. If these large structures are reserved to non-canon or minigame server appearances, then that means there may be little to no surviving humans left in the adventure mode, not a single prefab remaining inhabited. Maybe that's a big conclusion to draw. There's always the possibility of a secret group of rebels, maybe even a faction similar to the Outlanders that broke off and survived in some other way. But all of this leads me to believe that it wouldn't be possible for any more humans to be born, right? That's kinda how extinction works after all. Yet here we find ourselves. The player protagonist being estranged from everything they know and love, being the last of their kind, that's certainly not a new narrative in gaming. Look at the Dragonborn in Skyrim. Maybe even something akin to Fallout may occur, where you yourself were chosen by Gaia or other Orbis officers to go into a vault and wait out the storm. Maybe you were put into a magical cryostasis similar to Gaia in this image. Maybe this isn't even Gaia after all. Maybe this is a player waiting to start their journey. Too far? Too far, okay. Point is, however you got here, now you've woken up. You're in Orbis, and well, you probably don't remember a single thing. At least that narrative would make the most sense. The perspective of the player is going to be them seeing a world for the first time after all, a survivalist style journey with RPG elements. If Hytale wants the player to be the one that builds the kingdom, then maybe that's exactly what our journey is, rediscovering our own lost story and reclaiming a space in Orbis for the remainder of humankind. To recap on our speculations, humans were at some point the dominant race of Orbis. They lived and thrived throughout every zone. They were warriors, magic wielders, and grand builders. There was order thanks to Orbis officers, and they most likely got on well with plenty of the races and creatures of this world. Then, for some reason, once Varen's presence was noticed, bands of humans began to turn to the snowy ritualistic settlements, leaving a thinned force behind, a force that would soon be subdued, overcome by chaos and grief. In what we can only guess was a past war, we've heard word of a great disaster, so maybe a glimpse into those memory mirrors will hold the answers we seek. We're running pretty thin on theories here in the corner. From top to bottom, I've tried to strip all the images looking for some real interesting lore tidbits. But from this point going forward, we're waiting for new content. More reveals that hint to more of the story, or maybe even tell a different one entirely. Where do you think all the humans have gone? Do any remain? Will we only find them in snippets of the past? Will we need to venture forth to faraway lands to uncover those secrets? Are we ourselves a magical human or an alien from another world? Only time will tell, but make sure to share your thoughts and theories in the comments down below. We just hit 30,000 subscribers and we're on our way to 1,000 on Twitter, so make sure to follow me there for more updates. Expect a very busy December. As I've stated a few times, I plan to start streaming and we may do a bit of Minecraft, some other voxel games, and it's gonna be great. If you want to join a Discord server with thousands of Hytale fans and enthusiasts such as yourself, then make sure to click the link in the description. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and thanks as always for watching Kweebec Corner. Stay safe and keep free.